So, guys, what's going on? So, here's a new report or a new study that just came out. 76% of American workers say they look for a new job if forced to work fully in person. This is what other articles that I go through. Basically, American workers don't want to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. They want some sort of flex time, they want some sort of remote work. From the articles I read, it doesn't have to be 100% in the office, but the American worker now just wants to work, maybe 3 days in the office and, have some sort of days where they're working from home, if not all the days from home. But the come back to work Monday through Friday from, 9 to 5, the American worker doesn't want it anymore. They just don't want it. And this is just one of the articles. I just was reading this now, but I can post more. What is happening is if somebody takes one of these Monday through Friday 9 to 5 jobs, unless it's paying really, really well, and even that, when you read these articles, the thing that these people are doing is they're looking for jobs that are remote work. So you may have a job Monday through Friday, the person will take that job, and then the next thing they're doing is they're looking for some sort of job where, they have remote work and flexibility. They want some time to work from home. The other thing is they will take less pay. And that was another article that I was reading where they could be in the office Monday through Friday making whatever, X amount of dollars, 100,000. I'm just putting that as a number. But they will actually take something like a 20 or 25% pay cut, no matter what the job is, in order to work from home or get flex time. And a lot of these companies, they want you back in the office because they want to keep the real estate value up. They want to keep the rents up in the buildings. Some of these companies own the buildings that they have the work in, they have these workers in. So they want to keep that going. And then you have cities like a New York City, a major city that wants workers in the office, not only to keep the prices of the buildings up and the rental market high, but then, they know those workers are going to eat at the restaurants that are next to the building. They're going to take the buses and they're going to take the trains. That makes the city money. Or they'll drive in and the city gets you with, tolls and parking and all that type of stuff. So everybody wants you back in the office, not for you, but for them. The managers want to micromanage you. And another report that came out is that workers at home actually are more productive. They get more done, basically because they're happier. So, you may be working, whatever, let's say 9 to 5, that's your hours. You have to take at least an hour to get to your job, an hour to get home. So you're adding 2 hours onto that. And then if you have to wake up and get ready, and the majority of your day is kind of waking up, getting ready, going to work, being at work, coming home, you don't have really a lot of time to yourself, to spend time with your family, to deal with your kids, if you have to go to appointments, if you have to just do anything. Years ago, it was just you were locked in an office. You were locked there from 9 to 5. It was like being in a jail cell. And after people started working from home and they can see that they could work from home and they could, kind of get by, they were like, what are we being stuck in an office for? Why are we being locked down every day? Even if the job called for being in the office, we don't have to be in the office every day. I could see if we have to be in the office maybe 2 or 3 days a week, but not the whole week. And the only reason why they would want you in the office the whole week is, again, to justify real estate cost, rent, and to have a manager that's going to, look over your shoulder and be on your back. And what these workers are doing, and I agree with them, is they might not take the job, or if they do take the job, the first thing they do is start looking for another job where they can work from home. And I'm all for that. Do not waste your life being locked down, because at the end of the day, these companies really don't care about you. And the first thing these companies will do, if they have to, if their margins drop or something happens to their portfolio, is you will get fired right away. They're not going to say, "Oh no, we have to keep the worker on." They'll cut you in 2 seconds. So they want you in the office, but at the same time, if they could, they wouldn't have you at all to save your salary. So it's not really about the worker. It's really just about the company and their bottom line and almost dominance and power over the worker. The worker really, they'll take the worker, they'll get rid of the worker, whatever's good for the company. Management could care less. And as far as having a good worker, because you can have workers that work from home that can be more productive and do more work being in the house. And the company, for whatever reason, they'll know that, and they'll know that they'll have a happier worker, a better worker, a more productive worker, but they are still pushing this, we want you back in the office, and we want, to be, team members and meeting and all that. And like I said, 2-3 days a week, I can see something like that, but the being in the office every day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I think that's gone. If companies are smart, I would do a hybrid schedule. I mean, 2 or 3 days a week in the office, and, I would have the workers home 2 days or 3 days, whatever it is, and you would have probably a better worker, a more productive worker, a happier worker that is not looking to leave the company so quick. Jobs in general, these companies, they just put a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stress. And the kids coming out of college, even the old, whether you're an older adult, where you're just old, you don't want to deal with it anymore, or you're a young college kid coming out of college, you don't want to do this. You don't want your life to be, locked up in a jail cell, essentially, a cubicle jail cell, or an office. I don't care what the office is. They try to decorate the office and make it like it's this fun environment, and we have, a pizza Friday, and look, we have a gym in the office. Nobody wants that. People want to be in their house. They want to have a nice hybrid, a flexible schedule. They want to see their kids or their family, or they just want time for themselves. They don't want to be basically feeling like, that they're locked up. And I'm all for that. I'm all for entrepreneurship. I'm all for starting a business. Listen, work and start a business. The American culture doesn't really teach that, doesn't teach these kids to do a business, or at least try to start a business, or look into how to start a business or entrepreneurship. It's kind of just like get your college degree, lock yourself in a cubicle 9 to 5, if you can even get a 9 to 5, and you stay there for 30 years, and then you get out of that, and then hopefully you'll have a couple of years where you might be able to retire and have some time to yourself, because that's just the way it is. But yes, if you get a job, push back. You have to demand it. You want to work from home. You want remote work. You want a flexible schedule. You want hybrid. You want all that. And if you don't get that, keep looking for it. And if you do get one of these type of jobs, just the minute you get the job, start looking for, the flexible, the hybrid schedule. You're worth it. Your life, having a good, stress-free, decent life is worth it. That is for sure. And that's it. So with that being said, please leave a comment below. I'd love to read your comments. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's staying safe. God bless you guys, and I will talk to you guys later.